All right, hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this, of course, is going to be the monthly movie preview. Of course, this being for the month of April. And guys, I'm going to just say right now, this has probably been the most radically changed movie preview I've done yet, because this month has changed so drastically in terms of what we were originally supposed to get. Some of the supposed to come out this month aren't even coming out now. There's obviously one big thing that, has turned the month from a very whatever month to a much more eventful month. And I'm just very interested in getting into it. But first off, here I do want to introduce my guest. First off, he's here. His camera off for some reason. I don't really know why. To be honest with you, I'm quite scared, but it's been a little while since he's been on these movie previews. So here he is, 22TigerDude.
Hello there, everybody. This is 22TigerDude here. And yeah, thank you for bringing me on, Kevin. I hope we have tons of fun.
Okay. All right. I don't, tough act to follow indeed, but let's introduce my other guest here, who is dying of laughter currently. He's been on my channel one time before, and he's back again. Here he is, Nick Canino.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
No, it's fine. Let's let Nick breathe.
How do you recover from something like that? God damn.
Give me a second.
Go ahead. It's fine.
All right, there we go. There we go. Where were we? Oh, yes. Hello, everybody. It's me, Nick Canino, and welcome back to another podcast where we cover the April podcast. I've been on Kevin's podcast before, and if you know me from my other podcast, I do the worst and best films of any other month podcast, and as well as the worst and best films of the year, and some other shit. And it's good to be on Kevin's podcast once again, and I'm ready to have a good, and hope you guys have a good show.
All right. Once again, very happy to have you here, Nick. But like I said, this month has been very up and down. There was a point where whatever month, but there definitely is a lot of stuff to talk about. And right off the bat, we have a film that I'm definitely very interested in. I don't know how this one's going to turn out, but I figured I'd put it on the list. And that, of course, is Tommy Wiseau and Greg Sestero's highly anticipated first part of Best Friends.
I have a good story for you. A familiar story. One guy meets another in a big city. They have dream, but something changed. Greed, hatred, and jealousy. You understand the words?
All right, so Best Friends, guys. This is a film that I have heard a lot about, even as far back as before the Disaster Artist came out. I remember people talking about this movie and how the two actually had a movie coming out, and how it was very ironic that they were making a movie about, the Room when they were making another movie. In all seriousness, though, I actually think that this looks pretty good. I've heard actually surprisingly really good things about it. I mean, Tommy Wiseau, he's never going to be that great of an actor. I just heard that this film, they kind of find a way to work around his of charisma, which is kind of an understatement, to be honest with you. And also, coming off the heels of I really am down for another film with these two. I think their relation, the fact that these two have been able to stay friends after all they've been through, because I mean, they really did have a pretty tough road, during the making the Room, and the fact that they've been able to stay friends since then, I think, is actually really cool. And I really do have a lot of faith in Greg, Sestero. I mean, sure, the Room, they laughed it off, and sure, it didn't really turn out the way they wanted at all. But I think Greg Sestero does have something in him. I think he definitely does have a certain vision for this film. And from what I'm hearing, this is a very different film from The Room. It's much weirder. It's got a lot of metaphors and things like that. So yeah, I'm really interested in seeing how this movie does turn out. I think this definitely has a lot of potential. The fact it's being split into two parts, I don't really know how that's all going to go. I think it's an interesting idea. If you guys this is just part one of the film. Part two is coming out in like June, which we'll definitely talk about that as well. But I'm definitely very excited. I will be seeing this on Monday, actually. Very excited to see how this does turn out. And that's really all I have to say. But now we're going to turn over to Tony and see what he thinks.
I'm actually quite interested in this movie as well. I've heard of that trailer, I think since early last year, like early 2017 is when I saw like that trailer. And I'm just sitting there going, man, when is this movie going to come out? Because no release dates have been announced for this movie for a very long time. Not even when the Disaster Artist came out has there been like a specific release date. So the fact that it's finally getting a release date, I think it's pretty cool because whether or not it is a good movie or not, I am still quite fascinated because, you know, The Room, and then, you know, the Disaster Artist is like such a big hit that I think Tommy Wiseau and Greg Sestero are definitely twice as more well known now.
Oh, definitely.
Because of that. So, yeah, I'm excited to see them reunite. I know Greg Sestero is the writer this time around, so I'm interested to see how his writing skills go. And honestly, I'm just interested to see where it goes. Like I said, good movie or not, I'm just still interested to see how it all turns out.
All right, Nick.
What a story, Kevin. In all seriousness, though, I really love The Room. I think it's the best bad movie ever made, and The Disaster Artist was one of my favorite movies of last year. And I first heard about Best Friends ever since early January of this year, and I saw the trailer for this, and I'm definitely really interested in seeing this one. I mean, Tommy Wiseau and Greg Sestero back in another film. That sounds like it'll be really interesting, and I'm really interested in this one. Not much to say about this one, except I'm really interested. So hopefully it's good.
All right, guys. So if you are interested in Best Friends, this one is a bit difficult because you only have 2 times to actually see this movie in theaters. That is, I'm sure it's going to come online eventually. But as far as the first part goes, you only have 2 times to watch it, which is actually tonight. Which making this video is on April 30th. So if you guys can get to see it tonight, that you are in luck. You still get to see it on April 2nd. But other than that, those are like the only times you can see this movie. It's in. I guess it makes sense. They don't, to me, it seems like a movie that they know mainstream audiences aren't really going to love. So they're like only doing it through a film. Then I think that is definitely interesting. But if this film is a good word of mouth, which it already kind of is, I could very well see this movie coming back. I've seen Fathom Events do encores before. So if you don't get to see it, don't worry. I'm sure they will end up repeating it. Really good positive reception, like I said. But Best Friends, like I said, does come out on April 2nd. Definitely look forward to that. Now we get to a film that was my most anticipated for the month, and then something happened that we'll get into. But this film I have been interested in it for quite a while now. And once Tony gets up from what he's doing, he can introduce this movie.
A quiet place.
Play the fucking trailer.
But yes, the movie is A Quiet Place, and
Oh my god!
I know Nick Canino is dying right now. But I will say I am very, very excited for this film. This is like hands down one of my most anticipated movies of the spring and of the year in general. Like the minute I saw that teaser, I'm all like, yeah, I'm ready. Emily Blunt looks great. John Krasinski looks great. I know he's the director for the movie too. I'm looking forward to seeing how he can really bring this to life. The kids look really great too. And I'm just very curious to see how quiet the majority of the movie is. I know it's going to probably have some sprinkles of dialogue, like I know the trailer showed, but I'm just curious to see how much of the movie isn't going to have like dialogue. It just looks intense. It looks creepy. Just the writing looks really, really clever, and not to mention that it looks that the premise itself is very original. So. For that reason alone, yeah, I'm excited for A Quiet Place.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. Like I said, before a certain thing happened, this was my most anticipated of the month. I mean, we are living in a very good time for horror. Sure, we still do have very cliche horror films like, say, The Bye-Bye Man or things like that. But over the past few years, we've been getting really original stuff like, say, Get Out or Don't Breathe or something like that. We've been getting a lot of really great horror films to come out, and this looks like one of the most unique in quite a while. I'm honestly really surprised this is a mainstream film because it is very daring to have a film come out in 2018 that lacks the thing that, most people come to a film to see, and that's dialogue. I heard there's not a lot in this movie. I'm sure there's going to be, like you said, some sprinkles of dialogue here and there throughout the film, but from what I'm hearing, most of this film is in sign language. I think that's actually a really cool idea. John Krasinski, this is a very personal film for him, literally and figuratively. I mean, he literally casted his wife. He has himself in this. I mean, this is a really big film for John Krasinski, and I think this could really put him on the map as a very auteur director, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what he does after this. I heard is excellent here, and that trailer, holy fuck. The first time I saw that trailer, I was absolutely terrified, honestly. There are so many moments just in that trailer. I can already tell this is going to be one of the scariest movies, maybe the scariest movie I'm going to see all year. Either that or a movie that's coming out in June that I'm also really excited for. I think this has so much potential. I think this is going to be a really great horror film overall. Michael Bay is producing it, but he has produced a lot of Blumhouse stuff before, and that's really a problem for me because most of the stuff that Michael Bay does that's not like the transfer actually end up being pretty good. So, he's not really involved. He's just like the producer and things like that. So don't really, that's not really something to be too worried about. I have a lot of hype for this movie. I think this definitely has potential to be, one of the best, if not the best horror film of the year, and definitely looking forward to seeing it when it does come out. But yeah.
When it comes to John Krasinski, I've always been a big fan of his work. I heard about the premise last year. I heard about this last year, and I'm like, this looks like it could be really, really interesting. Then I saw the trailer for it. I actually saw the trailer for this I think 2 times. Last year, my showing of Oh, it actually was 3 times. Actually, this year. One was back in December last year when they showed it at my showing of The Shape of Water, which was one of my favorite movies of last year. And then another one was in February when I went to see Annihilation, and they showed the trailer for that. And then another one was the very next month when I went to see Love, Simon, and they actually showed the trailer for that. I'm really interested in seeing this movie. This and another film that's coming out later on this year called Hereditary are like my two most anticipated horror films of the whole year. Like I loved John Krasinski's last film, which is what I consider my most underrated film of the decade, which was The Hollers. I have the poster right here.
I've heard good stuff about that one.
Well, to me, I found it the most underrated. I found this movie to be the most underrated film I've seen this decade. So when I found out that he was directing a horror film, I was really interested in this one, and yeah, I'm very excited to see how John Krasinski does. So I'm really excited. hopefully it's as good as a lot of people say it is. So yeah, hopefully it's good.
All right, guys. So, A Quiet Place, definitely, I think we can all collectively agree that we're very excited for this movie. Definitely one of the most anticipated of the month. Now, a film that this is very interesting. This movie, it's coming out and it looks like shit, but apparently it's not. But we'll have to see. Either way, Nick is going to introduce it.
Oh God. Yes, the next film we're gonna be talking about is Blockers.
Julie left her laptop open.
You guys are snooping on our kids? No.
We don't understand what they're saying, so it's not snooping.
Oh my God, I love puzzles.
Some about an eggplant.
In teenage emoji, eggplants are dicks. Wait, what?
All emojis have a secret meaning, so like trees are weeds, and this thing is yas queen.
Yas, queen.
So she's gonna get Rose's kiss and then touch his dick eggplant.
Look at all that drool coming out of the smiley face.
That's jizz.
Stand down.
It is. Look, it's coming, but this is a sex pact. They're planning on losing their virginity on prom night.
Maybe it's not sex. They're just saying, hey, you're okay with me. You're okay with me.
Maybe.
No, I fucking knew it.
Our girls are not thinking things through. I'm gonna stop them.
I'm in.
Let's cock block those motherfuckers.
Oh, Blockers. This movie tells the story of when three parents stumble upon their daughter's path to lose their virginity on prom night. They launch a covert one-night operation to stop the teens from sealing the deal. This looks awful. This looks absolutely awful. And look, I understand it's getting some very, very good reviews, but I have a feeling it's going to be one of those films where once I do see the final product, and if I eventually do not like this movie, I think it's going to be one of those films where I just don't see the praise for this. Like, I'm not saying I'm dreading this. I'm not saying I hate it just because I didn't see the movie yet. I mean, I'm supposed to see the movie first before I'm supposed to like give my review of it. But it's just, this is one of those films where I'm just dreading the most. Like, R-rated comedies, this like have been like hit or miss for me. There are some that they're hit, like everybody wants some, and my most surprising film one of my most surprising films of the year so far, which is Game Night.
Oh yeah.
But then we get me too. But then we get shit like last year when we had like The House, Snatched,
Oh God.
Rough Night,
Chips.
Fuck that
Unless
movie.
he was on pretty much.
Fist Fight, which I know you like that movie, Kevin, but to me, I found it to be one of the worst movies I saw last year. And what I consider the worst R-rated comedy of last year, A Bad Mom's Christmas, which I hated that movie. And like I said, I know it's been getting some good reviews on Blockers, but I am just not looking forward to this movie at all. I mean, this looks like maybe if it was like what Neighbors was, like where I didn't like the trailer to Neighbors, but the final product of the movie surprised the hell out of me. Maybe it would be like that, but I'm still dreading it. I'm still dreading to see it.
All right, so yeah, this is a very interesting film because all the marketing for this movie, I think, has been utter shit. I mean, look, there are definitely a lot of talented people in this movie. You know, Leslie Mann, Catherine Newton, very good actress. I think she's been doing some really great stuff lately. John Cena is a very hit or miss actor for me. Sometimes he's really funny. Sometimes I think he's really cringy. You know, it could go either way pretty much with him. Ike Barinholtz, I really have not seen him in anything that great. But yeah, this one is surprisingly getting really positive reception. I believe South by Southwest is where it was. That was you know, where everyone was saying how good it was, which I was very surprised to hear about. And look, does that mean that I'm going into this movie thinking this is going to be amazing? That, you know, fuck what the trailer said? No, I'm still not looking forward to this movie at all. However, if I do come out of it enjoying it, then that'll be great. There have been a lot of movies, especially this year, there's been a huge trend where the trailer is really shitty and the movie's not that bad. See something like, I know you weren't a fan of it, Nick, but Peter Rabbit, or for me, Black Gnomes. I didn't think that was that bad.
Fuck those two movies, man. I'm
but
sorry.
yeah, but yeah, something like this, maybe it could turn out okay. You know, we'll have to see. I think again, there is talent peppered throughout the film. I do think that there definitely has some potential. It's a really dumb plot line, but if it's executed in a way where it does somewhat work, then maybe it could be good. I don't know. I mean, very, very mixed with this film, honestly. I think the marketing looks really shitty, but after what I'm hearing, maybe it could be good. I really don't know. We'll have to see how this one does actually turn out. But now let's turn to Tony and see what he has to say.
Yeah, I'm really, really dreading this movie. Like the trailers are god awful. That's great. That's getting great reviews and all, but for me personally, when I hear something that I'm not exactly looking for to getting good reviews, you know, I don't let the reviews really hype me up. I'll just go, okay, that's good, but I like to just wait to judge the movie myself and then say whether or not I agree with the reviews or not. But like, that's good. That's getting great reviews, and I do hope that I agree with those positive reviews. But for now, yeah, my hope is not that high. Obviously, I'll go in with an open mind, but it is easily one of my most least anticipated movies of this year. One of my least anticipated like R-rated comedies in general.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I like John Cena. I actually think he's been pretty good lately. I mean, Trainwreck, I'm in the big minority. I hate that film, but he was probably the best thing.
Oh, he was great in that.
He was probably the best part about that film, if I have to be honest. I really liked him in Ferdinand, and I still have to see The Wall, but other stuff I've seen him in, I've actually been impressed. Even the not so good movies he's in, I always go, he's the best part. So even if I don't end up liking Blockers, I'm hoping I come out of it going at least saying John Cena was the best part of that movie, because he normally is to me. So, and of course I like Leslie Mann, like Barinholtz. He still has yet to impress me, but hopefully this is that movie. But as for the premise goes, I think it's absolutely stupid. We'll just have to see where the movie goes. That's all I can really say as far as Blockers goes.
Yeah, guys, so Blockers, if you are interested, it does come out on April 6th. Yeah, April 6th.
April 6th.
Know how this one's going to go. I think it does have some kind of potential, but we'll really just have to see the way it goes. Thankfully, though, there are actually 2 other movies coming out on this day, and they both actually do look pretty good. And just like the next one introduced, and that is a movie that was supposed to come out in December, but it's gotten all the way pushed back to now, and that is Chapter Nick.
Hello, Mr. Kennedy.
Mr. Kennedy. Dad, so you're still the man with all the influence?
What the hell happened, Teddy?
It was an accident. I was driving.
A story like this could dominate the headlines for weeks.
Chief, we got a body.
A dead body holds a lot of secrets. Those can be the difference between guilt and innocence. So we need to be in control of them.
There's not a lot of senators that are charged with manslaughter that go on to become president.
All right, so Chappaquiddick in general, I really did not know. You know, I remember the movie preview. I looked this up. I'm like, what the fuck is this? It was all the way moved to April, and I think this looks really interesting, actually. It's this story about, I believe it was Ted Kennedy and this whole situation he got into where he was like drunk and he got in this car crash and his car ended up in a lake. It killed like this one girl, and basically it was this huge sort of thing that the Kennedys had to cover up because of bad press and things like that. And I think it's a very interesting story. It's not really something we've heard about a lot, and I think it is cool that, you know, it's taken a while for this movie to come out, but I think it is actually really cool that we're finally getting a movie about this specific subject. There's a lot of great actors in this, you know, Jason Clarke, Bruce Dern, just to name a few, just a really great cast overall. I think this definitely does have quite a lot of potential. I definitely am really interested in seeing how this one does turn out. And yeah, so definitely Chappaquiddick. I'm not like over the moon about it or anything, but I do think it does look pretty good, and I am overall looking forward to it. But yeah, Tony.
This movie to me looks fine. Based on the trailer, obviously, the movie could be a different story, but based on the trailer, I'm just like going. It has an interesting story going for it, with Ted Kennedy and his involvement with like the car accident and all that. But every time I sat through a trailer a couple of times at the theater, and I'm just sitting there going, just not feeling much about it. It just looks like one of those movies I'll watch in the theater. Or even at home, and I just don't think much about it as soon as it's over. I hope I'm proven wrong, because like I said, I will say the story itself is interesting. Just the movie, I don't know how it's going to play out, but I do really like the actors in here. I really like Kate Mara, and I believe even Ed Helms is in this too, Jason Clarke. Clancy Brown, Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob is even in this, so that's pretty cool too. So nothing wrong with the cast or anything. The cast looks really solid. It's just how the movie plays out. I'm hoping it's actually at least a solid movie. That's all I really hope, and that's all I really have to add to that.
All right, Nick.
This one I've been pretty interested in because I first heard about this movie when it was shown last year at the Toronto International Film Festival. And like Kevin stated, this was supposed to get a December release, but then they pushed it back to this year in April. And the story alone looks like it'll be a pretty interesting movie. And this will probably be the first movie I'll be reviewing that's distributed by Entertainment Studios.
Oh yeah, true.
I've mostly avoided some of their films last year that I've heard were pretty bad, like 47 Meters Down, Friend Request, and etc. I didn't get a chance to see Hostels. I heard some great things about that film. I heard some good things about that one. I'll definitely have to check it out at some point. Chappaquiddick, though, I'm really interested in. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Bruce Dern. I think he's one of my favorite actors working today. Kate Mara, I think, is a very talented actress, and Jason Clarke, I really do like as an actor. And Ed Helms is usually hit or miss for me. Like, there are some parts where he does hit well, like The Hangover and the first movie, the first Captain Underpants movie, which I really, really enjoyed very much. And then there are some films where he just comes off as being an idiot, like The Vacation reboot, which was one of the worst movies I saw from 2015. Thankfully though, I think he looks pretty good in the film, and I hope this movie does turn out to be pretty good, because I love watching movies that stay true and faithful to the real event it was based on. So I'm really interested in this one, and hopefully it's good.
All right, guys, so Chappaquiddick, if you are looking forward, does come out on April 6th. I think, once again, this does have a lot of potential. However, not as much potential as I think the next film has. This film I have heard amazing things about, and Tony is going to introduce it.
Hold on. You were never really here, were you? Oh, that's the movie. You were never really here.
What is wrong with you tonight? No.
After the tone, please leave a message.
It's done. Man called. He wants to see you right away.
State Senator Albert Vato. His teenage daughter's missing.
What's the lead?
He got an anonymous text with an address.
I've heard of these places. They said you were brutal.
I can be.
I want you to hurt them.
So yeah, that's the movie I'm introducing. And this one, I will say, I think the trailer looks very interesting. You have Joaquin Phoenix here. And the story is like he plays a traumatized veteran that tracks down missing girls for a living. That's what I got from the trailer, at least. And it's supposed to be like a mystery film. And that alone has me very interested. The cinematography looks gorgeous. The direction looks really beautiful. The writing looks really sharp. And, Joaquin Phoenix being one of the greatest actors living today, he looks like he's going to give yet another knockout performance. There's not a whole lot I have to say about this movie, but all I'll say is I'm definitely very interested in it.
All right, so You Were Never Really Here. I have heard amazing things about this movie. Some people saying it's the best movie of the year so far. And that trailer, I mean, just from that trailer, I am so interested in this movie. What I've heard from many people, the entire movie is less a movie and more just like the equivalent of just someone's mental breakdown. And that's what this entire thing is, just seeing someone lose it and going through it. And I think that is definitely a very interesting thing to see. Johnny Greenwood, I know, is also helming the score, and he did a tremendous job with Phantom Thread last year. One of the best scores of last year, easily.
Yes.
I think definitely, really hope he gives another really great score here. Joaquin Phoenix is an actor that always amazes me. I rarely have seen him give a performance that is not fantastic. I think this definitely has tons of potential for sure. Again, similar to Tony, I don't have many things to say about this movie, but that's because the trailer kept things very secretive. And that's something I love about trailers. I love trailers that don't really tell you a lot and generally are very secretive. I feel like there's a lot of stuff about this movie we still don't know yet, and I am definitely very interested in that. And yeah, so You Were Never Really Here. Heard amazing things. Definitely hyped for it. Hoping I do get to see it this month for sure. Definitely looking forward to it.
This is so for me, for the movie You Were Never Really Here. This is my number 3 most anticipated film of April.
Same.
April. I've been really looking forward to this movie ever since I first heard about it. And when it was shown last year at the Cannes Film Festival, fun fact, Joaquin Phoenix won the Best Actor award for his performance.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yes. The story looks really interesting. It looks like something I've never seen before, and I love Joaquin Phoenix. He's one of the best actors working today. Yep. And I love Johnny Greenwood. I think he's one of the best music composers working today. If you need proof on that, watch Phantom Thread. That's not only one of the best movies I saw last year, it's also one of the best musical scores I've heard put to film. I'm really excited to see it based on the story and the fact that it's like getting a lot of praise, and the fact that it won Best Actor at the Cannes Film Festival, and the screenwriter for this film actually won the Best Screenplay award at last year's Cannes Film Festival. So it won 2 awards at that festival.
Yep. Wow.
So I'm really interested in this one. I know it's getting a New York and LA release on April 6th, and then I heard it's supposed to play nationwide, I think, on April 20th. So I'm definitely going to see that film when it comes to my theater. I'm definitely going to see this film. I really love Joaquin Phoenix. I'm really interested to see where the story goes, and overall, I'm very excited for this one. My number 3 most anticipated film of April, easily.
All right, guys. You Were Never Really Here does, of course, come out on April 6th. I think this one definitely has a lot of potential for sure. Now we get to a film that I think really could go either way. I don't really know how this one is going to turn out, but Nick is going to introduce it.
Oh, yeah. This movie's called The Miracle Season.
How many teams have earned 2 championships back-to-back? Almost none.
Caroline, you're the captain. These girls are looking at you to lead this team.
I got you.
This is our year, Cal.
There's been an accident.
What?
I'd like to have a moment of silence in honor of Caroline Found.
Without their star player, West Volleyball suffered another defeat.
How's the team looking?
It ain't last year.
We're not champions anymore.
Win or lose, Caroline would be so proud.
We gotta find us a new captain. Talk to him. Lead.
Why me? You're her best friend. Girls are looking at you.
I'm taking her spot.
And you're making it your own.
Yeah, The Miracle Season. I first heard about this movie, and here's what the movie's about. So The Miracle Season is directed by Sean McNamara, and it stars Helen Hunt, William Hurt, Aaron Moriarty. Murray, again, I do apologize for the mispronunciation. And Danica Yaroshesh. Again, apologies for the mispronunciation. But it's based on the true story of the Iowa City West High School volleyball team after the sudden death of a team leader, Caroline, found in 2011. I first heard about this movie, and I heard who was directing the film, and I'm like, I really don't know about this one. So I'm not really that interested in the film if I'm being completely honest. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love movies. I love to see movies that are like based on true stories if they're done right. But I feel like this is going to be one of those films where it just becomes like a mediocre bore fest. But yeah, I'm not really that interested in it.
Yeah, I would have to concur with what Nick said. I do think that the premise here is interesting. It just, as a movie, you guys know me, not a sports person, and I don't typically like these sports movies. Sometimes they can surprise me, like a film that Tony actually recommended me, that I finally, you know, as you guys know, I checked out McFarlane USA. Really enjoyed that one. There's definitely exceptions for sure. It's just very rarely do those films interest me. I do think this one does have some potential. You got a lot of really good actors in here, you know, Helen Hunt, you know, William Hurt. I do think that Erin Moriarty is pretty good, you know, from what I've seen of her in the trailer. Again, she's just kind of, it's coming out. It's a movie. I'm probably going to see it. And yeah, that's kind of it. I don't really have much to say about it. Seen the trailer quite a lot, just kind of lukewarm about it. And yeah, so I don't really have much to say about it. I think it looks okay. Maybe it'll surprise me. We'll have to see.
Yeah, like I'm not dreading this one, but like the trailer just didn't really do much for me, honestly. It just looks like a very middle of the road movie. The trailer was like so weird because I like how the trailer just starts off all happy and then it gets all sad when like one of the students dies, and then it gets all happy again with like one of the girls having to replace as like the leader of this team. So the trailer was very tonally weird. But besides that, yeah, I think it looks okay. Helen Hunt looks great. The other actresses look like they can give at least pretty good performances, just like what you guys have been saying. Just you just really don't know how this movie's going to turn out, because you know, trailer is like one thing, but it's all about how the movie plays out, and I hope the movie can be pretty good at least. I know it's from the director of Soul Surfer, and I thought that was all right. Didn't really think much of that one when I saw it, but like hopefully this one can at least be solid. And yeah, that's about it. I just think it looks fine.
All right, guys, so the Miracle season does come out on, once again, April 6th. A lot of stuff coming out. Can't tell. Finally, we have the last movie that's coming out on April 6th. It is an A24 film that I've heard quite a lot about, and that is Lean on Pete.
And here's number 6, Lean on Pete.
You won, right?
Yes. Look, if we're going to be working together, you got to get some manners. You got to chew your food. What does your mom say?
I don't know her.
Well, does your dad have any manners?
I don't know, I guess I haven't really noticed.
You gonna be okay on your own today?
Yeah.
Did your mom leave you or something?
Yeah.
Reaching out to find you.
Hey, Pete. How you doing?
Put it all behind you.
Can't get attached to the horse.
I know.
Why not?
They're here to race and nothing else.
Finish line. Listen, kid, things are changing.
What do you mean?
I'm selling him.
He's not a pet. It's just a horse.
I'll buy him.
What? With what money? And where are you going to keep him? Not in my stalls.
Come on, Pete. I'm gonna get us out of here.
All right, so similar to the last film we just talked about, The Miracle Season, I initially was looking forward to this trailer. I thought, oh, it has Charlie Plummer. He was excellent. Money in the World. I thought this definitely had lots of potential. Once again, I think this just looks okay. I don't think that the story, just something about it, isn't really grabbing me. I feel like we've seen this story a lot where it's like this horse and this boy has to like protect it. It just We've seen this story a lot. It doesn't really look like this is doing anything terribly different from what we've seen before. And I'm sure Charlie Plummer is going to be good. There definitely are a lot of good actors in this movie. Steve Buscemi, Chloe Sevigny, really good actors overall. Just in general, the story, it just looks kind of bland, I really like A24. Most times they really do impress me. There are definitely some, there are definitely times where they have definitely let me down. Florida Project, just to say a couple. But yeah, I do think this looks just okay. Maybe it'll surprise me, but yeah. Tony.
Oh, I thought Nick goes next.
No.
Okay, then I really misunderstood that then. Yes, lean on Pete. I do not want to lean on Pete, just so you guys know. But I actually think it looks interesting, honestly. I remember when I saw this trailer when I went to go see The Shape of Water, and I went, hey, that looks like a nice, simple story. I agree. It's not anything particularly new, but I've seen movies where the concept isn't anything new, but if the story's executed in the right way, I can enjoy that. And I hope that's what Lean on Pete is, where it has a concept that isn't like the most new thing in the world, but I hope like in terms of execution, I hope it is very well done. And like you said, the cast just looks great. Steve Buscemi, and I haven't seen All the Money in the World yet, so I can't comment on Charlie Plummer, but I'm sure he's a really good actor, and everyone else looks really great. And A24, they can be hit and miss, like they are literally hit and miss with me. You've seen my letterbox, Kevin. But when they hit, they can definitely hit, and I definitely hope Lean on Pete is a solid hit from them.
All right, Nick.
Well, I'm actually really interested in this one because of the story alone. Yes, it does look like something we've seen a million times before, but with the cast involved, like Charlie Plummer, Steve Buscemi, and Chloe Sevigny. Again, I do apologize for the mispronunciation. How could I not say no to this? I mean, I'm really interested in this one. I've been a huge fan of A24. I think they're not on the same level. I think it's like Focus Features, Sony Pictures Classics, or Fox Searchlight, but I think they are a very good company. Most of them are hits for me. Some of them miss for me. Like last year, I know a lot of people really enjoyed the Florida Project. I thought it was good. But it was overpraised.
I really don't like that movie.
That's totally understandable. Yeah, like I said, there are some A24 films that I felt were good but not great. Besides, like the Florida Project, Green Room was another film I thought was good but not great. And another, and
that was Nick. That wasn't A24. That was Amazon.
It actually was. It was actually distributed by them. So
yeah, it was Amazon.
Yeah. And anyway, and then they made some movies that I don't really like Life After Beth was one of those movies I didn't like, despite Aubrey Plaza's very good performance in that film.
Agreed.
Yes, thank you, Tony. But what I consider to be the worst film is Spring Breakers. Good God, I hated Spring Breakers. I could not stand this movie.
I can understand why you felt that way.
Yeah, just has a good cinematography, and the performances are fine. Well, James Franco's the best thing about the film. But everything else is garbage. Just pretentious garbage. Thankfully, though, I think Lean on Pete has a lot of potential to be a really good film. I've been hearing nothing but really good things about this film, and I've been a huge fan of Steve Buscemi. So when I found out that he was going to be in this film, I got all excited. So I'm really interested in this one. Hopefully it's good.
All right, so Lean on Pete, once again, very in the middle with this movie. We'll have to see the way it does turn out. But finally, that is the last film that comes out on April 6th. All the mentioned, also comes out on April 6th, minus Best Friends. Now, the next we're talking about, I had no idea this movie existed until until like a week ago, actually, and I'll talk about that once Tony gets done introducing it.
Beirut.
Beirut, actually, but okay.
Okay, let me try that again. Beirut.
What the fuck?
Mason Francis Skiles, 45 years old. 10 years ago, he was deputy chief of mission here, until his wife was killed.
He's damaged goods, but he's manageable.
Maybe one of you could tell me what I'm doing here.
3 nights ago, an American was pulled off the street in West Beirut. Next morning, we got a communique from a group calling itself the Militia of Islamic Liberation. They have the guy they want to talk. They want you to broker the deal.
They asked for you specifically.
Your friend Cal, he's the hostage.
Cal's the head of all Middle East operations.
He talks. You'll be waiting for bodies to pile up on the embassy sidewalk.
What do you want me to do?
You're an experienced negotiator. Negotiate.
In case anyone is curious what I threw, it's Airheads. You're welcome.
Nobody cares. Just fucking talk about the movie.
All right. Beirut. I love John Hamm. Storyline looks interesting. But the trailer was not that good. I thought it was honestly very sloppy in terms of how it was put together, to be perfectly honest. And I was actually reading through the comments section of this trailer, and a lot of people don't seem to be happy with like the portrayal of Beirut and the stuff that goes down there. So it's already gained some kind of controversy, but I hope the movie itself is pretty good. But just right now, my expectations aren't really that high for this one. I don't have a lot to say for this one. So yeah, I'll carry on to you guys.
All right, Beirut. Like I said, had no idea this movie existed, but then I saw a little movie called Unsane last week. They showed the trailer during that, and I think this looks pretty good, honestly. I think John looks really good here. I think the concept is really interesting. I don't know much about Beirut. I'm hearing really good things about the movie in general. I know people said didn't like the trailer and things like that, but I heard the movie itself is really good. So yeah, I'm interested, and not really a lot to say, but I think this does have potential. Rosamund Pike, John Hamm, both really talented, and yeah, I definitely am interested in this one.
I first heard about this movie back earlier this year in January when it was first shown at the Sundance Film Festival, and I was first interested in hearing about this movie. I did see the trailer. I was a little bit unimpressed with the trailer, though I'm really interested in seeing it because of the story alone, and because it stars like John Hamm and Rosamund Pike, and I think those two look like they'll be one of the best things about the film, and so I'm really interested in this one. Hopefully it's good.
All right, guys. So Beirut, this one does come out actually not on April 3rd, April 12th. Actually, they're kind of pulling a Ready Player One, I guess. But yeah, we'll have to see the way this one does turn out. Now, this movie, we get to April 13th, and this film that's coming out, this one for me, it could go either way. We'll have to see the way this one does turn out, but Nick is going to introduce it.
Oh boy, this film. What are you looking at me at? You guys know it's Rampage.
Got your message about George, you okay?
I don't know.
George? It's okay.
Is Amir, is he considerably bigger?
No, he's definitely bigger. I need to find someone who knows exactly what the hell this thing is.
I found her. No, that's a lie. Technically, she found us.
What's happening to my friend?
Are you familiar with genetic editing? Changes will be incredibly unpredictable.
increased strength,
George!
speed, agility.
No!
Rampage, rampage, rampage. Oh, good God. Rampage is one of those movies where it's based on the video game of the same name, and it stars Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And who gives a flying fuck? I saw the trailer for this last year, back in December of last year, at my showing of Star Wars The Last Jedi, and it looks awful. It looks absolutely awful. And to make matters worse, this movie's directed by Brad Payton, who is starting to become one of my most hated filmmakers working today. Like, he's done a lot of movies that I really hated, like Cats and Dogs: The Revenge of Kitty Galore, Incarnate, and he did another movie which I know a lot of people actually, I know some people liked, but I couldn't stand, San Andreas. I hated San Andreas. It's one of those disaster movies where well, let's just not give a shit about the characters and story and just have mindless action in it. That's not how you do a disaster movie. That's why I didn't like that film. And that's why Brad Payton is starting to become one of my most hated filmmakers working today. And the fact that he's back with Dwayne The Rock Johnson to do a movie based on a video game called Rampage, that makes me like not look forward to this movie like even more. Just, I can't stand Brad Payton. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, I think, will be the best thing about the film. Same goes with Naomi Harris, but other than that, it looks terrible. It looks absolutely terrible.
All right, so a very big turnaround here. Yes, I will agree this movie does look really ridiculous and stupid, but it's one of those films where it looks like it is aware that it is a dumb film and that it's not taking itself too seriously. Dwayne Johnson's one of those actors where, no, he's not that great. He's not really that great of an actor. He doesn't know, he doesn't have the emotional range that some of the actors do, but he's really entertaining, and you just can't help but, just really enjoy and love what he's doing when he's on screen. He's just one of those actors that is very fun to watch, and it looks like he's having a lot of fun with this film. The effects on the gorilla, yeah, they look pretty bad, but it just looks like a really dumb, fun movie. And I know I've said this before, where, dumb, fun movies, that shouldn't be a thing. But if it's done well, where it's done in a way where it has enough entertainment value, and it does have some entertaining actors, and it does have some stuff with characters, then I think I'll be able to get behind it. I think this just looks like a really dumb, fun movie that probably isn't going to be that great. Maybe it won't be good at all. We'll have to see. But from the trailers, it looks like a fun movie. Every time I watch the trailer, I honestly am looking forward to it more. But again, I say it every single time I watch the trailer. I've even said this, when I'm with my dad at the movies, I'm like, this is either going to be really great, really stupid fun, or just plain stupid. Like, that's the best way to classify this film. I don't know which way it's going to turn out. I'm hoping it's the former and not the latter, but we'll just have to see the way that does go. But now we're going to turn to Tony here, who's going to be the voice of reason, and see how he feels.
I agree with Kevin on this one. I think this movie looks like a ton of fun. I really like Dwayne Johnson, and I actually do think he has range, honestly. Like, I don't think he's just like an entertaining actor. I think he actually can be a really good actor, especially in something like Snitch. Like Snitch, which was like one of his more dramatic work, like, for sure. That's the movie where I'm like, wow, he can be more than just his action guy. He could actually play a pretty vulnerable person. I appreciate that about Snitch. And yeah, that's the movie that showed me, like, wow, he could do more than be that big guy. But yeah, he looks like he could be really fun in this movie, just really entertaining, really charismatic, as he normally is. Even in the movies that aren't that good, he normally has so much charisma that he'll be the best thing about it. And Naomi Harris also looks great. Jeffrey Dean Morgan looks great. And the last name I could always have a hard time pronouncing, but Joe Manganiello.
Joe Manganiello.
I always have a hard time pronouncing that last name. But he looks like he'll have a lot of fun here. Visually, yes, it doesn't look the strongest. And that was definitely the same with San Andreas. Dear God, the visuals were not good with that film. But hopefully Rampage, I hope, will be a slight improvement visually when it comes to that. But yes, I can agree. This is one of those films where it can either be dumb fun, like it's aware that it's dumb, or it could just be like a straight up bad movie, or even middle of the road. It could just even be just plain middle of the road, like how I felt with San Andreas, basically. So yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes. But for me, the trailers have pretty much sold me, and yeah, I'm ready for some stupid fun. I hope it delivers on that.
All right, guys. So Rampage, if you are looking for it, does come out on April 13th. Now we have another film that could also possibly be stupid fun, not in the way that Rampage is. This could be very much a stupid movie in a different way, and that is, of course, Truth or Dare.
Something really weird has been going on ever since Mexico.
Oh, come on.
I'm serious. I'm seeing things.
Truth or dare?
Dare.
I know it sounds insane.
Just a little.
This fine young lady here dared me to show you my business.
Seen it before, not impressed. Carter said, tell the truth or you die. Do the dare or you die.
Refuse to play. You know what? Screw this. And you die.
Okay. Here's the thing with Truth or Dare. Similar to Rampage, does it look dumb? Yes. Does it look stupid? Hell yes. I mean, the fact that we're getting a movie there is absolutely ridiculous. To be honest with you, though, I'm not dreading this movie for two reasons. One, I think this could end up being like a really, really great guilty pleasure in the sense of something like The Strangers Pray at Night, where it's not very well written and it has some really dumb moments, but I can't help but laugh and enjoy it. Or this could be like Happy Death Day, where it has really terrible marketing and a really bad trailer, but actually does end up being a good movie. And to be honest with you, I'm really pointing towards the latter, honestly, because Blumhouse has done this a lot, where they market their movies and they look like shit and they end up being really, really good. To be honest with you, I wasn't really a huge fan of the Get Out trailers. I really wasn't. I didn't think that movie really looked that great. I thought it was going to be really overly preachy and things like that. And of course, it ended up being the complete opposite. And same with Happy Death Day. I thought that looked like utter shit. Ironically, Nick was on when we when we discussed that film, and I think this could be very similar to that. I think this does have potential to be maybe a fun film if it doesn't take itself too seriously. If it does, then we'll have to see the way that goes. But if it doesn't take itself too seriously, and similar to Happy Death Day is aware that it's kind of dumb, then I think maybe this could turn out pretty good. Did the visuals bad? Hell yes, but there are some competent actors in here. I do have some faith in this movie. We'll just have to see the way this goes. Like I said, not dreading it. Are the trailers bad? Yes, but it's just something about the fact that, both Happy Death Day and Get Out did not look good, and they end up being really good to great movies. I think this definitely does have potential to be in that same sense. I'm hoping that is what ends up happening, but let's turn to Tony.
I dare you to eat this donut. Yeah, this movie looks
I don't like donuts, Tony.
Well, I am making you eat it now, Kevin.
Well, I don't like donuts. Now, please, just move on and stop this.
You don't like donuts? You do not like donuts? What is wrong with you? Donuts are awesome!
All right, I'm not a fan of donuts, all right? I just...
Oh yeah, that's right. Kevin's never told Nick. Anyways,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Trust me, I was surprised too, Nick. Don't worry. But yeah, Truth or Dare. Oh, good. Thank God I've only seen this trailer once. And that was when I went to go see. I forgot what it was, honestly, but I saw the trailer once in the theater, and that one time was enough. It looks horrible. Unfortunately, I don't think it looks guilty pleasure like Kevin here. I think it looks legitimately awful, especially look, the CGI smiles like, oh God. But and I like Lucy Hill, honestly. I think she's a pretty good actress. I've seen her in a couple of things and go, oh yeah, I like her. But Yeah, this movie looks really dumb. Kevin proved a good point, however, with like Happy Death Day and all that. Hopefully, it's just Blumhouse wanting to surprise the audience, because that could happen. If this ends up being a good movie, that'll be awesome, because I like it when a movie can prove me wrong. I don't like when I go into a movie just with low expectations and it ends up being what I think it is. You know, I really don't like that, honestly. I like when a movie can surprise me. I hope Truth or Dare can be that way, or if not that, maybe at least be tolerable at very least. But yeah, it looks really bad, in my opinion, at least.
All right, Nick.
I know this is a bit unfinished, but what you're about to see is a drawing that they made that just shows how I feel about when I saw the trailer for it. Here it is.
Oh, that pretty much sums up my reaction too.
This looks awful. Look, I understand Blumhouse could be a good company. Like, look at them when they did like Whiplash, The Gift, and last year Get Out. They know how to make some really great movies, but then we get shit like The Gallows and so many other shit horror films that they put out that I forgot to name. And I'm sorry, Kevin, but I did not like Happy Death Day. I thought it was a mediocre movie. I understand it was trying to be fun, but I wasn't having fun. I was just bored throughout. And truthfully, it's like the worst horror film of the year. This is directed by the guy that made Kick-Ass 2, which I know there are some people that actually like Kick-Ass 2. I'm not one of them. Kick-Ass 2 sucked. I'm sorry, and if you like this movie, that's fine. But to me, I hated Kick-Ass 2. Just this movie looks awful, and the fact that it's directed by the guy that made Kick-Ass 2 shows how much it looks atrocious. Just look, Blumhouse has made some good movies in the past, like Whiplash, The Gift, and Get Out. But once again, they just like putting out some shit horror films, and this looks like another shitty horror film. And honestly, this looks like, as I said before, this looks like the worst horror film of the year. Everybody looks terrible in the film. The CGI smile, good God! Yeah, easily my least anticipated film of April. Easily. I am not looking forward to this movie at all. That's all I need to say.
All right, guys. So, Truth or Dare. Needless to say, I'm very much in the minority when it comes to this movie. Again, something about Blumhouse. They've been not surprising me, but they rarely disappoint me. Even things like Insidious: The Last Key, where it's not that great. It wasn't a film that I absolutely hated. I've yet to really despise something that Blumhouse has done. At least in a while. I didn't see Amityville: The Awakening and things like that. But of course it does come out on April 13th. Now, while most of you are dreading Truth or Dare, there's another movie coming on April 13th that I think actually looks way worse than both of the movies we talked about. And Tony here is going to introduce this movie.
And that movie is Sergeant Stubby, An American Hero.
How's this dog get in here? Get out! Get out of here!
We have 4 weeks to turn you into soldiers. At least he's ready.
Find a new buddy, Conroy? The sergeant wanted a mascot. Give the unit a different look.
A different smell, too.
Hey, no!
Guess it's better to have every man and every dog we can get in this fight.
Well done, soldier.
Thank you, Sergeant.
I was talking to the...
There's only been, I guess, a teaser trailer that released for this.
No, there's a full trailer that came out.
Okay, well, I haven't seen that.
It was in the fucking playlist, bitch!
I didn't watch. I only watched the trailers for movies that I haven't seen yet. Like you were never really hearing all that. The ones I have seen already, I didn't bother watching. But anyways,
this is why we can nice things, Tony. Okay, you have to understand.
Yes, Kevin, I agree with that. But this to me, I'm not actually dreading. Well, it's a teaser. Like I said, I have not seen the full trailer, so that could be a different story. But based on the teaser, it looks cute. I don't know about good, but I think it could be an okay, cute movie. It doesn't look like anything offensive, in my opinion. It just looks like a harmless, generic little animated movie that I could probably forget after I see it, but it doesn't look like anything like that unbearable to me. But we'll just have to see. Animation does not look that good, however. Yeah, I will say the animation does not look that good, but you know, I do like Logan Lerman and I do like Helena Bonham Carter, so you have a good voice cast right there. But yeah, we'll just have to see. I hope the movie can be at least cute. That's all I really expect from it, honestly. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
Huh. What you guys just said about things like Rampage or Truth or Dare, that's basically what I think about this movie. We are living in a really terrible time for animated films right now. There's rarely any coming out that is actually good. You know, we do have things like Isle of Dogs and things like that. Those are fantastic. Definitely not for children, but you know, it is a fantastic animated film. We have Incredibles 2 and things like that. But everything about this film, now I will admit, this does not look as bad as something like, say, The Star or something like the trailers for Peter Rabbit, not the movie itself. You know, Nick doesn't agree, but the movie itself wasn't that bad. It doesn't look as bad as something like that. Like, it doesn't look that bad. It's just this entire movie just screams direct to DVD. I don't know why this is coming out in theaters. It's very similar to a film that came out last year called Rock Dog that like nobody saw except for Jackson. You know, basically that's the only person I was
about to say.
I saw it too. It was forgettable.
Yeah. Okay. So two people have seen it now. But it very much reminds me of that movie where it's a movie and it's like, why the fuck is this coming to theaters? Like, put it on Netflix. Honestly, put it on Netflix. I know I get on their asses a lot, but that is the place to put movies like this. This is like Sergeant Stubby. There's been like no promotion for this movie. I'm surprised it's honestly coming out still because we've just now gotten a full trailer for it. For the longest time, there was just a teaser. I think the animation looks absolutely atrocious. It looks like something out of like when they were first CGI. That's what it really looks like to me. Yes, there is a good cast here. You know, Logan Lerman is fantastic. Really has not been great stuff lately, to be honest with you, but I think he is definitely a really great actor. Helena Bonham Carter, you know, Gerard Depardieu, good cast overall. But I say it so many times, good cast does not make good movie. And that's just what this looks like. It looks so just like whatever. It's just a movie. It's coming out and it looks like shit. It really does. I don't really know why this is coming out, to be honest with you. I'm surprised that it is still coming out because there's been so much lack of promotion for it and things like that. And that's really all I got to say. Again, nothing offensive. It just looks really bad. It really does. And it's just one of those films where I just question why it's coming out in theaters. It should be direct to DVD. And if the voice talents weren't behind this film, it probably would be. And yeah, but Nick, go ahead.
Not much I'm going to say about this movie except like I heard about this movie. I saw the trailer for it. Yeah, not even going to bother. Not even going to bother with this movie. This looks like straight to DVD garbage. So, yeah, not even going to bother.
Yeah, so Sergeant Stubby and American Hero. I am going to see it because I try to see everything, as you guys know. But don't have much interest for this movie at all. I'm surprised it's still coming out. But those are all the things coming on April 13th. You know, Rampage, Truth or Dare, Sergeant Stubby. Very interesting week. We'll have to see how that really does play out. It's still a bit empty. You know, New Mutants was supposed to come out that day, and I honestly do wish that it was still coming out. But, you know, I thought I had to change everything up because I guess everything just gets moved around nowadays, which we'll get to that later. Okay. So April 13th really doesn't look that great, but that is nothing compared to the movie that does come out on April 20th. This was supposed to come out in June. And to me, one of the worst comedies come out in a very long time, and Nick is going to introduce it.
Oh, I know what it is. Oh my God. Oh my God. This move. Okay. Scratch off Truth or Dare being my least anticipated film of April. This is my least anticipated film of April. And it has one of the dumbest titles of the year so far. I feel pretty.
I have a crazy idea. Let's be honest for a minute. No matter how many times we hear, it's what's on the inside that matters. Women know deep down, it's what's on the outside that the whole world judges. You okay?
I'm just like dealing with low self-esteem and like.
I want to punch you right in your dumb face right now. Do you have every rib that I have? I've been on all of these sites. No one even looks at the profile. They only care about the picture. And I'm sick of it. I've always wondered what it feels like to be just undeniably pretty.
Are you okay? You hit your head pretty hard.
Wait, that's me. That's me. Oh my God, you see this?
Yes.
I'm beautiful.
God. Good Lord. Dear Lord. Okay, Wreck. Well, that was one of my favorite movies of 2015, and Amy Schumer was actually really funny in that film. And I did have a soft spot for her when I saw her in that film. But then came Snatched. One of the worst movies I saw last year. And she gave out one of the worst performances I had ever seen. And well-deserving. When I started the Canino Awards, she was very close to being the worst actress of the year of the year for me. Dakota Johnson took the spot, but man, she was so annoying in the film. She was so obnoxious, and that's why I hated her in that film. And in this movie, she looks horrendous in the film. Horrendous. Like, you won't even believe the story. Like, you're not going to believe what the story's about. Listen to this. Renee Barbaret, an ordinary woman who struggles with feelings of insecurity and inadequacy on a daily basis, wakes up from a fall believing she is the most beautiful and capable woman in the world, despite looking the same she has always looked. With this newfound confidence, she is empowered to live her life fiercely and flawlessly. What kind of an idiotic story is that? And look, I really do like Michelle Williams in the film, but I have no clue what the hell she's doing in the film. To be fair, I do think she'll probably be the best thing about the film, because I do think Michelle Williams is one of my favorite actresses working today. But this movie looks dreadful. It looks absolutely dreadful. Easily one of my least anticipated films of the year. In addition, you know what? It's tied with Truth or Dare as my least anticipated film of April. Fuck it. Amy Schumer, let me just say this right now to you. You are not funny! That's all I need to say.
All right. Well, after that very vocal, very hot from Nick, I very much agree. This easily is my least anticipated movie of the month, and it's unfortunate because I do think Amy Schumer is talented. I saw her in stuff prior to Trainwreck. I saw her in episode Inside Amy Schumer. It's an episode I've talked about before. It's all about, it's like a 12 Angry Men parody. The whole thing is centered around is Amy Schumer like hot enough to be on TV. It's actually really clever. It's got a lot of really great talent there. But honestly, ever since that show ended, and, Trainwreck was a thing that I absolutely loved, I'm like, wow, she's got a lot of range here. I think she really could be doing great stuff. But since then, she just has not been making really good choices. It seems like she's reverted to the most raunchy humor possible simply just for the sake of being raunchy. There's just really nothing to it. It's just her detailing her sexual experiences and all these like really off-color humor. And that's really all it is. And Snatched for me, the first like 25 or so minutes I did somewhat enjoy. I thought the two did have a good chemistry, but once it turned into, you know, them getting kidnapped, then it just went downhill for me, and it just got really boring, and I've honestly completely forgotten about that film. I don't think it's as bad as everyone says, but I still really do not like that movie at all. This, on the other hand, looks 10 times worse than both of the things I just mentioned. The leather special, for me, is the worst thing I've seen Amy Schumer done. This looks 100% worse. Not only does this movie look so unfunny and ridiculous, it honestly looks pretty offensive. It really does. I mean, the whole movie, it seems like it's about, oh, fat people worse, and look at all the problems that they have, and they don't feel comfortable in their own skin and things like that. It just seems like a very negative film, to be honest with you. And Amy Schumer's not really even that heavy. I mean, I've seen other actresses that are way heavier than her, and I don't think, you know, she's really should complain about that. It's just, it looks dumb. It really does. And not only does the humor not hit at all, like I said, it just looks really offensive. It looks stupid. I don't know why. It just seems like such a one-joke film. Like, what? She wakes up and suddenly she's like accepting of her body. It just seems so ridiculous. I know exactly where it's gonna go, and I just have no interest in it whatsoever. Like I said, easily my least anticipated film of the month for sure. I've seen it way too many times in theaters, and yeah, so I am absolutely dragging this movie. Amy Schumer, I once had faith in you, but if you continue to shit like this, I'm really going to start to lose it, honestly. I think that she does have potential. Watch Thank You for Your Service. She had really good range in that movie, and I think she did a really good job in that. But since then, she just really has not been impressing me, and I do hope she turns her career around, because I do think she is legitimately talented. She's just, like I said, very much reverted herself to just a very one-joke comedian who I think could do a lot better, and this just looks like shit. So, yeah.
I agree with Nick and Kevin. This movie looks absolutely awful. I am not a fan of Amy Schumer. I am hoping someday she could turn her career around, because as much as I don't really like her, I do think she has potential to make really good movies. You know, I'm not going to be someone that just hates on her for the sake of hating her and all that. But yeah, I'm just not a fan of her style of comedy or anything. I think she takes it like way too far, probably more than most of the raunchy comedians out there, to be honest. But yeah, the premise for this movie, not only is it stupid, but it's honestly offensive, I would say, towards women. To be perfectly honest, like, and I'm surprised this is PG-13. Like, I thought this movie was going to be rated R, but surprisingly PG-13.
Oh, really? I thought it was okay. That's
yeah. I was shocked too. Even look it up if you don't believe me. It's actually PG-13. I couldn't.
No, yeah, I feel that. I believe you.
But I don't know if this movie somehow turns out good. You know, I'll give credit where credit is due and all that. But yeah, there's nothing. Yeah. Kevin and Nick, you basically took the words out of my mouth. You, Nick, especially. But yeah, that's all I have to say. This looks awful. I would even agree that, yeah, it's my least anticipated in April. Like, there's a couple of our movies that I am dreading, but not like the way I'm dreading I Feel Pretty. Like, this, just no, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah. All right, so guys, so if you're looking forward to I Feel Pretty, which I don't think there are many people that are, but if you're of the some few, it does come out on April 20th. Now we get to another movie that I'm actually dreading. This movie doesn't look as bad as I Feel Pretty, but it still looks pretty terrible. And that is a film that I can't believe, once again, is actually seeing the light of day, and that is Duck, Duck, Goose.
For thousands of years, flocks have migrated smoothly across the skies. That is until he came along.
I'm giving you one more chance to grow up. Show you belong to this flock. Lead the junior flyers.
I can't fly with the kids. They're childish.
This is Peg.
Who's on the loose?
He ruffles feathers.
This is a family-friendly community. You are not family-friendly.
Yeah? So what's the problem? Do we have to migrate in a V formation?
Follow me!
All right. Oh my God. What do I even say about this movie? Once again, I said Sergeant Stubby didn't look like the worst thing ever, just looked like a really bad animated film. This does, on the other hand. I mean, this just looks so dumb. Everything about this movie looks ridiculous. The fact we're actually having a movie about this come out, just the animation really doesn't look that great. There are some good actors in this movie, but it just looks like one of those films where they're completely wasting these actors. It just looks very kiddie and just not something I'm gonna enjoy at all. And yeah, I have no anticipation for this film whatsoever. And once again, this is another movie that I thought for sure was going to be delayed, because up till Midnight Sun, actually, of all movies, I don't know why I get the fucking trailer during Midnight Sun, but that was a very weird choice. But up till then, I didn't see a trailer for this movie. I saw it like once, and that was it. It was during Coco, I believe, was the last time I saw the trailer, which that was like 4 months ago. So I thought for sure this movie was going to get delayed. But apparently it's not. I mean, it could get delayed after we make this, to be perfectly honest, because of how many things have gotten delayed at this point and how many things have gotten pushed back and all that stuff. But yeah, I think this looks like shit. I don't think there's much else I need to say about it. And yeah, so I'm not looking forward to this at all.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, I will agree. It's not like I feel pretty bad, but oh my goodness, it still looks really, really bad. Like, whereas I said Sergeant Stubby looks like a cute, harmless little movie, this looks like a really just bad, unwatchable kind of animated movie. It's like what you said, Kevin. You do have a very talented voice cast here, but it's like you kind of sit there and wonder, why are they wasting their talents on a film like this? Like, I just don't understand it. Like, especially with how animated movies have evolved, you would think we would be beyond animated films like this at this point, but nope, I guess not. We still get animated films like this, I guess. I mean, we still have also Animal Crackers. So
whenever the fuck that's coming out, that was supposed to come out this month. Thank God it's not now, but
yeah. But yeah, this movie looks like trash. Like this really does look like garbage. Definitely one of my least anticipated movies of the year. And that's all I have to say. Oh yeah, and it's coming out 4/20. So I guess it's good if you want to get high watching it, but hey, I'm Nick. I think your mic is mute.
Nick, your mic is muted. Oh, he'll come back.
Okay.
Thankfully, it's not like the last movie preview where he did this like 5 times.
Oh yeah, I remember when you guys had a lot of internet problems.
Oh my God.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, you're
okay,
good.
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly, man.
Okay. What I was trying to say is this. What do I have to say about Duck Goose? What do I have to say about that film? Honestly, I saw the trailer for Duck Goose last year, and it looked so god awful that I'm not even gonna bother watching it. Just there are some movies that look awful that I avoid, and this is one of those films. What also baffles me about the film is that what the hell is Greg Proops doing in this movie?
Right?
Like, he's so talented on Whose Line Is It Anyway? What the hell is he doing? Not much to say. Dreading this one the most. I meant not gonna see it at all.
Guys, so Duck Goose, I don't even think many people know this movie's coming out, but if you are looking forward to it or you want to get hyped, like Tony said, it does come out on 420. There are some other movies also coming out on 420. One that actually doesn't look that bad. 420 is a terrible release for movies. There's not really much good coming out, but there is one that looks just kind of whatever, and Tony's going to introduce it.
Hold up. Traffic is getting real fucking crazy, ladies and gentlemen. There you go.
Stop. Oh my God.
Hey, that girl. Something in my gut was telling me that she needed help.
I think I put my phone in your bag by accident.
Let me help you.
Just give me the phone. Just give me the phone, okay?
He will kill you.
Hold on!
Here you go, something that belongs to me.
They're gonna kill us.
I need help right now, please. I don't know where I'm at.
Where are you, little lady? I'm gonna keep you just for me. Just for me.
Okay, so this movie, I do not have a lot to say. It stars Paula Patton, and you know I like Paula Patton, very gorgeous woman too. I will say that, but yeah, I agree with you, Kevin. It doesn't look like anything. I'm going like, oh my God, like it's not like an I Feel Pretty thing where I just want to pull my hair out, but yeah, it just looks like one big whatever. It just looks like a movie that's just there. Watch and forget. I know I've been saying that a lot in this preview, but that's how I felt about some of the movies, like as far as the trailers go. But yeah, it looks like it could have maybe some entertaining parts at the very least. Like some parts could be interesting, some parts could look intriguing. Performances look like they could be okay at best and all that, but that's all I have to really add as far as that goes. Traffic 420, baby.
All right, like I alluded to before, I don't think this looks that bad, honestly. It doesn't look that great. No, it looks really mediocre, to be honest with you. But compared to the other films coming on this day, this looks basically saying a film looks mediocre on this date is like saying it looks like Citizen Kane, pretty much. Yeah, this doesn't, again, nothing that great, but nothing really that bad either. That's all I have to say. It just looks like a typical, like, hostage film, and that's kind of it. So, yeah. Honestly, the movie Breaking In that's coming out in May and this one, I get confused by like which one is which because these movies just seem so similar to me. Like they have very similar premises, they have very similar actresses, and I honestly, every time the trailer for Breaking In plays, I think it's Traffic. Every time the Traffic trailer plays, I think it's Breaking In, and vice versa, pretty much. So yeah, that's really all I have to say for that one.
Sorry, I tried to type something. Yeah, Traffic. I heard about this movie. It doesn't look that bad, but I'm not even gonna bother like seeing it. So, just saying.
All right, so Traffic, like I said, nothing really that much to say about it. I know this movie preview has gotten incredibly boring, but there's just not much to say about some of these movies, okay? So it's kind of whatever. So Nick has alluded to skipping a lot of these movies in this month, and I know you guys might be surprised, but this might be a film that I might actually consider doing that with, and Nick is going to introduce it.
And I know which one you're talking about. It's a movie that I don't think looks that bad. But it doesn't look that good either. It's Super Troopers 2.
It turns out the French-Canadian town Saint-Georges-du-Laurent is actually on American soil. You'll be phasing out a Canadian Mountie unit.
Best behavior, boys.
Not our idea of a good time either, fellas. Personally, I'd rather fuck a moose.
You would need a ladder to do that.
Wow.
I will say this. Super Troopers is one of my biggest guilty pleasures. Like, yes, it's dumb. I will admit that. But I it's one of those movies that I actually really enjoyed watching. I know I'm gonna be called a hypocrite just because of what I said with like Rampage, but this was just one of those movies where it was stupid, but I took it for what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Super Troopers 2 though. Yeah, it doesn't look that good. It doesn't look terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I would say there are far worse movies. There are movies that I think are far worse than this, but it doesn't look that good.
Oh, absolutely. All right, so here's the thing with Super Troopers 2. You guys may be like, Kevin, why is this the movie you're going to skip out of all of them? It's not because it looks bad. That's not why. You guys have to understand, I try to see everything. I have seen actually 60 movies so far this year. I know that's crazy. We're in 60 movies already, and there are just some things that I simply do not have time for because, surprise, if you guys might not believe me, but I do actually have a life out of this. I go to college, I have work and things like that. I don't always have time to watch movies. I may wish, I may think I do, but I simply do not have the time. And what I'm trying to get at is, this is a sequel to a movie I haven't seen before. To be honest with you, I don't really have much interest in watching the first one, and I don't think I'm going to get to it in time for Super Troopers 2. If I do, then that's great. But if I don't, this is a movie that I would be okay with skipping. I don't think this movie is going to bring much to the table. I don't think there's much hype behind it. I don't really hear many people talk about the first Super Troopers or hold it to that high of a standard or anything like that. But yeah, it's whatever. It's coming out. And, again, if I get to the first one, then I will see this one. But if I don't get to it, then I simply will not watch the second one. And that's it. That's really all I have to say. I can't get to every film. I try to see as many things as possible, but this might have to be one of the ones that I might end up skipping out on. So we'll really just have to see.
Yeah. I have not seen the first film, so I don't really see myself seeing this in the theater. I just don't have much motivation to watch the first film. Not that I'm saying I'm never gonna watch the first film. I'm sure I'll watch it later down the line, but before we get to the sequel, I just don't have much motivation right now to watch it, honestly. And of course, if I do eventually watch it, then I'll watch the sequel. But as of right now, I don't see myself watching the sequel in the theater. And honestly, for me, I do think it looks bad. Like the most recent trailer honestly made me cringe. It was one of the hardest times I've actually cringed watching a trailer in the theater. Like the humor looks really forced. Like it doesn't look like, oh, it's forced, whatever. No, it looks like incredibly fucking forced in my opinion. I only laughed maybe and not even a laugh. I think I chuckled maybe twice, and that's it. So yeah, the most recent trailer definitely did not do it for me. I'm not really looking forward to this. Like I said, if I see the first, I'll see the sequel. But right now, I just really don't have any motivation to watch the first or the second. That's all I have to say.
All right, guys. So Super Troopers 2, like I said, I don't think many people care about this movie, to be honest with you. Again, if I get to it, I get to it. But if not, it'll just be one of the ones I skip. But now we get to a thing that is actually a tradition. I actually have not seen any of these movies, but it is the annual Disney nature film coming out this year, and that is Dolphins.
Let the waves roll to the shore, and the wind dance on your front door.
All right. So I rarely talk about documentaries on here, obviously. The only one is because it is a Disney nature film that, it is an annual tradition and things like that. And to be honest with you, I've seen none of them. I haven't seen a single Disney nature film. These nature documentaries don't really interest me. However, this is a film that it is short enough and it's coming out that I might actually consider checking it out. Am I going to review it? No, I don't usually review documentaries. I do on Letterboxd, just not in a video review type format. I might on Stardust and things like that. But I never said this, guys, but definitely follow me on Stardust if you haven't already. Shameless plug, but I forgot to say that. Follow Tony as well. But yeah, Dolphins. In general, I haven't even, to be honest with you, I haven't seen the trailer for this. I have not watched the trailer for this movie. I know it's coming out. I know it's about dolphins.
Look who just gave me a hard time earlier about watching all the trailers before the preview.
Well, you watched, at least you saw a trailer for that one. I haven't seen
naughty Kevin.
At least you saw it. Okay, in my defense, you saw the trailer for Sergeant Stubby. So in your defense, that's not as bad as me not watching the trailer for Dolphin.
Yes.
So yeah, that's really all I have to say. Tony, go ahead.
I'm the opposite, Kevin. I have watched most of them. I haven't seen the ones that came out the last couple of years, and it's not because I didn't want to. It's just a matter of what you said, Kevin. It's like, we all have our lives. Unfortunately, we don't have time to see every movie in the theater. Would I like to? Of course I would, but I don't have the time to see every single movie that comes out of the theater. I really did want to see Born in China that came out last year, but just didn't get around to it. But I do want to eventually catch up because I have seen some of the documentaries from Disney Nature, and I've actually really liked them. They're just nice, simple little documentaries that help me learn more about like nature and the animals and all that stuff. And I'm not a big documentary person either, but it's like there's something about how Disney does their documentaries is very interesting. And then normally at the end credits, they show like the cameramen, like how they're able to film the animals and the scenery and all of that. So I've always really liked it when they do that in their end credits too. So I'm most likely interested in Dolphins. I am interested in Dolphins like I am with normally every Disney Nature film. Will I see it in theaters? I don't know. It depends all about time and all of that, but I would like to try, honestly. That's all I have to really say as far as that goes. It just looks interesting. And yeah, a movie about dolphins coming out in 420. So there's your 420 entertainment right there, folks.
I'm definitely interested in this one. I've really like what Disney Nature's put out. Disney's put out with their Disney Nature documentaries. Born in China was very good. Bears was very good. A Monkey Kingdom was also very good. I always look forward to see what Disney Nature does with their documentaries. And when I heard that their next documentary was going to be about dolphins, I got to admit I was actually pretty intrigued by this. Like it looks something like it looks interesting. It looks like it. All I could say is it just looks interesting and riveting, even for a documentary film. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how Owen Wilson does with the narration. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Wow, I'm in a movie about dolphins. Wow, I'm narrating a movie about dolphins. Wow. In all seriousness, though, guys, if you come on, Tony, you've done weird shit throughout this whole thing. Let me do something.
No, I'm actually laughing because that was a good impression. I'm not laughing because I'm making fun of you. I actually thought that was good. Good job.
All right. In all seriousness, though, guys, if you are looking forward to Dolphins, it does come out on April 20th. I definitely am interested in checking this one out. And now we get to the last week of April 20th. Holy fuck, this is a big day for releases. Not as big as April 6th, but still, holy shit. We get to a movie that I don't really have much interest in, but Tony's going to introduce it.
And that movie is The House of Tomorrow.
Hey there! I'll be down in a minute.
This is the St. Peter's Lutheran Youth Group.
I'm Sebastian.
Welcome to the future.
That's my Nana. She says there's the traditional way to live, and then there's the dynamic, independent way, the way Buckminster Fuller did.
Every time man makes a new experiment, he always learns more.
That old lady's like your overlord. She's my guardian, and she made sure I stayed on the right path.
Wow.
What is it that you listen to on those?
You better prepare yourself, dude.
Sebastian, what are you mumbling?
It's nothing. Sorry, Nana.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So I agree with Kevin. I don't have much interest with this movie, honestly. Like it's like what we've all been saying for a lot of these movies. It has a really talented cast behind it. But this looks really I think average is the word to describe it. Like it doesn't look anything that awful, but not anything that good or great. It just looks like it looks average, honestly. I hope the movie's actually good because I do think that it does have potential. And Asa Butterfield and Alex Wolff and Nick Offerman, as well as the rest of the cast, they look really great in here too. So even if the movie's not that good, I can see at least the performances being really good. Direction looks fine. Cinematography looks whatever. You could definitely tell it's low budget, but yeah, we'll see. I think it looks just kind of whatever.
All right, House of Tomorrow. Initially, before I watched the trailer, I was actually really looking forward to it. That's because I saw it had Asa Butterfield, Alex Wolff, Ellen Bernstein, Nick Offerman, Michaela Watkins. I'm like, holy shit, this is a really good cast. Must be a really good trailer, right? Well, then I watched the trailer, and to be frankly honest with you, I usually don't get that bored watching trailers, but this is one of those trailers that's straight up bored. Not wait for this trailer to end. It just looks very middle of the road. Nothing for me to latch on to. No compelling characters or anything like that. It's just, again, it's a movie. It's coming out. I'm definitely going to see it. It's probably going to come online on, like VOD or some shit. And, I'm probably going to rent it. And it just looks okay. That's really the best way to describe it. Nothing terrible, nothing earth-shattering, but just the movie it's out. And I'm sure it might have, some good performances or whatever. But just in general, the trailer I found to be very boring. And one of those trailers that just simply would never end. And yeah, so that's really all I got to say about that one.
Yeah, I'm with Kevin and Tony on this one. The trailers for this one were okay. Like, it has a great cast and the story looks pretty interesting, but other than that, the trailer was pretty boring. And I am eventually going to watch this one. I don't know when, but I'll definitely check it out. Hopefully it's better than the trailers make it out to be. So just saying.
Yeah, so House of Tomorrow, not really much to say about it. But those are all the movies coming out April 20th. Like I said, really big day for movies. Not really a great day for movies at all. There's only one movie coming out that looks kind of decent. Okay. But now we get to the thing that, like I said, this is arguably the biggest shift in any movie preview I've done, because the majority of this month just looked very mediocre. And then a little indie film came out that I don't think anyone's really heard about. It's supposedly a really big film that's maybe going to make a lot of money, but it is coming out, and Nick is going to introduce it. I don't know if anyone's heard of it, but Nick's going to introduce it.
Yes, I heard of this one. It's called Disobedience.
No, it's Infinity War. I was fucking around.
What the fuck, Kevin?
I always do that when a big movie's coming out. Tony knows this. I did that with Star Wars.
Oh, that was great.
Go ahead.
Oh, man.
God damn it, Kevin! Yeah, Avengers Infinity War.
We got one advantage. He's coming to us. We have what Thanos wants, so that's what we'll use.
Let's talk about this plan of yours. I think it's good, except
It sucks. So let me do the plan, and that way it might be really good.
Wow.
Yeah, Avengers Infinity War. I am definitely looking forward to seeing this movie. This is my number 2 most anticipated film of April. My number 1 being Isle of Dogs, because like it's going to be coming in my area in a couple of weeks, which I'm very excited to see. But Avengers Infinity War easily takes the number 2 spot, because like I've really been a huge I've really liked most of Marvel's movies that they put out in their cinematic universe. I mean. And this looks like it will be another great Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. Their last movie that they made was Black Panther, which is my favorite movie, which is still my favorite movie of the year so far. And Avengers Infinity War looks like it will be another great superhero film. In addition, another great Marvel Cinematic Universe film as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this one. Hopefully it's great.
All right, so joking aside, guys, obviously I am hyped for this movie. This is one of those films that I still am kind of in disbelief is actually coming out, because literally everything that we've been building up to, what the fuck are you doing, Tony?
Hey, continue. Hey, Kevin, this for you.
All right, all right. That's very much deserved. I very much appreciate that. Like I said, this is literally everything we've been building up to. Is going to be in this film, and this is just such a huge cast of. We got the Guardians in there, we got Spider-Man, we got Black Panther, and not just Black Panther. We got Black Panther and his crew. We got Doctor Strange and his crew. We got Spider-Man just on his own. We got. Obviously, all the Avengers and things like that. I think even the Collector's going to be in there. So this is a huge monster of a film, and I am obviously hyped for it. And to be honest with you, I really don't have many worries. I know a lot of people are worried that with a cast this big, it's not going to work out. But again, who's directing this movie? Well, that would be Anthony and Joe Russo. And what movie did they helm before? Captain Civil War, which didn't have as big of a cast as this one, but it did have a pretty big cast altogether. You had a lot of people in that movie. And honestly, one of the best things about Civil War is how well they were able to balance all the characters. And even some of the ones that didn't have a lot to do, it wasn't like they were underused. They just simply weren't really that important in this movie. And I think that's how this is going to go. I think this movie, everyone get their moment to shine. And the fact that it is so long, I think is really going to benefit it. I'm honestly really happy that's like 150 minutes, because if it was any shorter, I would honestly be really worried. I think a movie like this, you can't tell this story in like an hour and 45 minutes. It's just simply too big. There's too many things going on. And I think there's just so much potential with this movie. I mean, we're going to get into Thanos' backstory. There are a lot of the stakes are higher than ever, because we alluded that a lot of characters are going to die. Obviously after Infinity War comes to an end and the Avengers movie we get next year, then we're pretty much done with this set of characters and we move on to something else. And sure, it's sad, but I'm glad that they are doing that. I'm glad that they're not just keeping this going for years and years until it fades into nothingness, because they do have something great. And I think when you have something great, you should end it while it is still great. Marvel has been on a very high streak lately between Thor Ragnarok, Spider-Man Homecoming, Civil War, Black Panther. I mean, they have just been absolutely crushing it critically and financially. And I think this film is hopefully a culmination of all of that. It has obviously so much potential. It is easily my most anticipated film of the entire month. And it really has turned this entire month around for me. It's a month that is just very mediocre, with not many films coming out that I really care about, to a month with, not much coming out. But now we have this huge monster of film, and obviously the entire month is going to change because of that. And, am I disappointed it's not coming out in the first week of May and we're going to have kind of a slow start to the summer? Sure, but honestly, the fact we're getting it a week early, I think is awesome. I think we should just really revel in that, because rarely does something like that happen. And the fact that we are getting it so early, I think is honestly really cool. It shows that Marvel has tons of faith in this movie, and I really am hoping they don't let us down. I have so much hope for this movie. I could honestly go on and on about it, but again, we still have other movies to talk about, and we still do have one other person to get to. So I don't know what Tony's doing, but I'm hoping he really stops staring at me so you can, you know, about this movie and your thoughts on it, perhaps.
Okay. You guys want to know how ready I am for Avengers Infinity War?
Oh, God, I don't even want to ask.
Oh!
Iron Man. Select all. Iron Man armor.
Oh, shit.
Here, I'll give you one more.
Calculating energy levels. Bogies are on your tail.
Oh, yeah. I am so fucking ready for this movie. Yeah.
That was clever.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, I'm really excited for this. Should not come to a surprise. This is my most anticipated movie of like the year in general, and it would have been summer, but like what Kevin said, it did move up a week early to now April 27th, so it's no longer a summer movie, which it is kind of a bummer. But I do think the positive side, and Kevin brought up a good point about how, because these other countries, they normally get these Marvel movies before us, the US citizens do. So I think it is cool because everyone is pretty much going to be seeing this movie around the same time. And that means no spoilers, no like who died, no like what happened in the movie. Like we could all just watch the movie without worrying any spoilers, which I think is actually smart. So yeah, I can't wait to see how this whole thing unfolds. Like, it's crazy to think that 10 years ago, this universe started with Iron Man. It felt like yesterday when I saw that movie in the theater, and the fact that this whole universe, all of these movies has been building up to this one extravagant event is truly mind-blowing. I'm ready to see Guardians of the Galaxy, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America, Scarlet Witch. There are so many more names I haven't even mentioned, but I'm ready to see them come on screen together. And I look forward to seeing how they're going to stop Thanos. And Josh Brolin, speaking of Thanos, he looks freaking great. Like this year looks like a very busy year for Josh Brolin, but in a very good way. So I definitely can't wait to see what he has to deliver as Thanos, and whatever this movie has in store for us. I'm ready. That's all I can really say. I am so ready for this movie. I'm so excited. And yeah, bring on Avengers Infinity War. Woo!
Woo! Absolutely. Obviously, like I said, hype for this movie. I think we all pretty much are. I think it definitely is, you know, everyone's most anticipated film of the month for sure. You guys are going to see it. I don't even need to say it. Avengers War comes out on April 27th. Everyone's going to see it. You know, everyone's going to be talking about it. And hopefully it gives us the satisfying conclusion that we really want. Now we get to the film that actually is very small and actually is a film that I don't think many people know about. Because believe it or not, there are other films coming out that day. Nothing, because I don't think anything really wants to compete with Infinity War, but there are two more films to talk about before we wrap this up. And Tony is going to I'm going to introduce it, and that is Disobedience.
My father just died.
So you came to on the road?
Why else would I be here? Hello, Esty.
Your wife? She won't be distracted by Ronnie's return?
We all have forgiven you, Ronnie.
What for, Firma?
For everything. We never thought we'd see you again.
Sorry to disappoint you.
And you're not married.
It's important that this week is conducted with honor. It's the most important thing.
Disobedience in general, I saw the trailer for this quite a few times, and I think this looks really interesting. From what I'm gathering, this is about a woman who has a very religious family. She comes from this very, sort of Catholic background, and she does, appreciate the values, but she starts to have feelings for another woman. And obviously, this goes against, what the church believes and things like that. And her and Rachel Weisz kind of start this relationship. And I think this is a really interesting. I think this definitely could go some really interesting places. I will admit the trailer I was a little bit mediocre on. I do think this has a lot of potential though, and I do think this movie is going to be really great. It's just the trailer didn't really do a lot for me. Just the execution of it just looked kind of blah, to be honest with you. But Rachel McAdams and Rachel Weisz are both incredibly talented. I have a lot of hope for this movie, and we'll have to see the way this does turn out. So Disobedience, go over the moon for it, but I think it does look good, and it does come out on April 27th.
Do I go or Nick?
Yeah, it's you.
Oh, okay.
It's me, you, Nick.
Sorry, I got distracted with the group chat. But yeah. I can agree with you, Kevin. The trailer is not the best. But I will say storyline wise, I think it does have a lot of potential. And I think it is very cool to see Rachel Weisz and Rachel McAdams, the two Rachels, have a little love story going. So that's pretty cool. It looks like it could go in a lot of interesting places we probably won't expect. And it's always cool when you could get those kind of stories. Cinematography looks really good too, and the direction I'll even say looks really good as well. It's really like most of the movies. I don't have a lot to say, but I'll definitely say it looks like one of the more interesting movies in April. I'll say that.
Yeah.
For sure. Thank God. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see, and that's all I can really say for Disobedience.
All right.
This one actually caught my interest because, like, of the story and due to the fact that Rachel Weisz and Rachel McAdams are in the film, and this is directed by the guy that that's going to be well known for his like Academy Award winning foreign language film, A Fantastic Woman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Very good movie. I highly recommend it. Disobedience. Okay. Disobedience. Looks like it'll be a pretty interesting one. I did see the trailer. The trailers were okay. Were okay, but I'm still really interested in seeing this one. I'm probably not going to be able to see it until May because like it's going for a New York and LA release on April to expand nationwide. I think in May, but I'll definitely have this on like my most anticipated films of the summer list for sure. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it.
All right, guys. So Disobedience, if you are looking forward to it, it does come out on April 27th, at least limited release it does. And now we get to the final film, which, as you guys know, I always try to talk about at least one Netflix film in each video. And, of course, the one we're doing now, it could really go is the final Adam Sandler Netflix film. And that, of course, Nick is going to Tony is going to introduce.
Get the facts straight.
Damn you, Kevin! Damn you!
I keep getting confused. Okay, just go ahead, Tony.
So yeah, on the week of Kevin Falk should check his facts. In case anyone didn't get that wonderful pun, it is the week of.
I'm gonna fucking kick you out in like 2 seconds. Legit.
Got a big one, Dr. C?
Another day, another life.
Hello. Father of the groom.
You got a sec? Yeah.
Can you believe it's in 5 days?
I got this. All good here, pal. So happy to see you. Hi. Okay. I hope everybody likes the hotel.
You having a wedding at a quality lodge?
Toaster. 4 slice.
But yeah, the week of is another Adam Sandler Netflix movie. I know he's gonna be sticking with Netflix for a very long time. So yeah, honestly, I actually do like Adam Sandler. I'm not like on the hate train with him. No. I actually am a fan of most of his movies. You know, he can have his exceptions like Jack and Jill and That's My Boy. And then he could have all right ones like Just Go With It. But I am a fan of a lot of his stuff. I haven't been a fan of his first two Netflix movies, however. Ridiculous Six and The Do-Over is trash. Oh my god, I can't stand those movies. But I did really like his movie, which funny enough, it's already going to be a year since it came out, almost a year at least. Sandy Wexler, Crazy to Think, and I actually really like Sandy Wexler. I thought that one was really good. As far as his comedies go for Netflix, it's definitely his strongest in my opinion. So the week of, I hope it could be good, just like Sandy Wexler. And if it's not good, I could just only pray at the very least it won't be insufferable like Ridiculous Six and The Do-Over. If it's not good, I'm perfectly fine with it even being on the okay level. I just do not want to sit through another bad Netflix movie from him. But this has a lot of potential. I do like the trailer. There's a lot of stuff in the trailer that did make me laugh, and I do like that he and Chris Rock are doing another movie together because I think it's been a while since he's done a movie with Chris Rock. So that's going to be really awesome to see. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. And even if it's not good, it can't be worse than freaking Game Over, man. So yeah.
Or Mute.
I heard how
Oh
awful
my
that
God.
film was. I heard so many bad things about Game Over, man. I'm not even going to bother seeing it.
It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. I don't say that about a lot of movies, but that movie's, oh God, yeah.
All right, so week of here's similar to Tony. Here's the thing. I am actually a fan of Adam Sandler. I do think he does have a lot of talent. Billy Madison, said this a million times, one of my favorite comedies of all time. I've watched that movie so many times, and it just gets funnier and funnier the more I watch it. I actually rewatched it this year because I finally got it on Blu-ray, and it still does hold up quite well. Is it like the best comedy ever, like very smartly written? No, but it is very entertaining. I think there genuinely is some really great scenes in there that I think are among some of the best of his entire career. The opera scene, or say the scene where he's, on the quiz show. I mean, there's not the quiz, but like the academic decathlon. I mean, there's so many great scenes in that film. There definitely are, especially recently, has been making a lot of films that have not really been boding well for him at all. Last year, of course, Firewitch Stories, that was fantastic. Sandy Wexler,
That was so good.
I thought Sandy Wexler actually was a pretty well done film. It wasn't as, I think, mean-spirited or gross-out humor as his other two films have been. And I did think it actually had a pretty good story to it. I thought he did a good job in that movie. This one, I'm very in the middle with. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I don't think it looks terrible. It just kind of looks okay to me. You guys know, though, I've really been very high with Netflix, so am I looking forward to it? To be honest with you, no. I don't really get that excited for Netflix films nowadays, simply because they have not been impressing me at all lately. And hopefully, soon they'll have a film that gets me back on that train where I'm like, all right, Netflix, this is what you need to be doing. But Netflix has just been so just constantly disappointing me and constantly putting out all these films that are just really destroying them as a distributor, that I begin to lose more and more hope for them within every passing week. I really do. I know I said this during Game Over, man, but I still very much do stick by that. And again, I don't think this looks terrible, but I just don't have much faith in Netflix anymore. I really don't. And it's sad because I do think they've made some really great films, but nothing yet has lived up to Beast of No Nation. I think that is the only masterpiece they have made. There hasn't been an Okja or a Meyerowitz Stories yet this year. So yeah, just in general, not very high with Netflix films. Don't think this looks terrible. It's just I don't really have much motivation when it comes to Netflix films anymore. But yeah, Nick.
All right. I'm pretty much with Kevin on this one. I think it does. I think it does look all right for the most part. There are some jokes that do look really funny. And I'm with Tony. I'm with Tony and Kevin. I really do like Adam Sandler. I do think he's a very talented actor. Yes. Sometimes some of his comedies could be misses, like Jack and Jill, That's My Boy, Grown Ups 1 and 2, and another film I didn't like. Little Nicky, which I thought was just garbage. But for the most part,
yeah, that movie was awful.
It was fucking garbage.
The only scene I did like from Little Nicky was like when the pulp was like stepping on pizza and he's like
That was just annoying to me.
To me, that was actually the best part about the film. But I don't know. It's just like sometimes Cyber do have a weird sense of humor, but that's just the only scene I found to be amusing. Everything else was just terrible. Yeah, I'm pretty much in the middle on this one. I'm not sure if I will see this. I'll probably, if I will, it will probably be because of Adam Sandler and Chris Rock. I think both of them are very talented. And if you need proof that Adam Sandler is a very talented actor, watch Punch Drunk Love and watch the Meyerowitz Stories. These two movies prove that he's a very talented actor and he knows what he's doing. So, yeah, I'm not sure if I will see the week of. I will eventually, but for now, I'm just like it's a movie. It's one of those films like just there. So, yeah.
All right.
Not much
so
to say about it.
Go ahead.
Not much to say about it. Just it looks all right.
All right, guys, so the week of, like I said, if you are looking forward, does come out on April 27th. It arguably is the big Netflix movie of that month. And with that, guys, we are now done. I know there was a lot of stuff to get through. I know there was a lot of films that we were very unmotivated for. And if you guys this video, I honestly applaud you because this was not a very event. Besides our excitement for Avengers Infinity War and A Quiet Place and things like that, this was not a very exciting movie preview. It was honestly, I can understand if someone was very bored during this, but I do want to thank my guests here. This person was incredibly annoying during this and really was grinding gears quite a lot during this, but honestly, I do somewhat appreciate, given how blah a lot of these films do look, he did somewhat lessen the boredom when it came to some of these films. So I guess thank you to 22TigerDude. I take that back. Fuck you, honestly. Oh my god.
You are welcome, Kevin. Tiger Power. Thank you for watching, everyone.
Oh my god. Right, and then the other guest here, who at least Tony is entertained, I guess, and you know, he said his things that he needed to say. Very vocal about some movies. Thank you to Nick Canino.
It's okay, Nick. You can breathe. It's okay.
I'm still recovering.
I need to watch that part on replay. I want to see how that looks on replay.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you to Kevin for having me on your podcast again. It was a lot of fun. Thank you to everybody watching this, and thank you to Tony for Tony the Tiger Dude for making me laugh so much. I could only imagine like you know it's really funny. I can only imagine him like being like the guy.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, thanks for watching, and special thanks to Kevin for having me on. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and with that, guys, that is another end of a movie preview. I don't know why you guys would enjoy this, man, but Tony, unfortunately, will be back in July with Jackson Fulcher. That should be fun. Nick, I believe, is coming back in June. That is when he will be back. But either way, guys, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know what you think of any of these films coming out. And that's it for this video. We'll see you guys in my next video, and we'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.